Revenge of the Simps. It sounds like a Star Wars show, but today we're going to talk about how you can go from glazing to great. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast with me, Dr. Trish Leigh, your hostess with the mostest. Today, what we're going to talk about is the meme is a warning. We used to call them simps because they would actually chase down women and lose their masculine vitality and identity. But now the new term that I've been taught by my handsome 21-year-old son, Declan, is glazing. And glazing shifts it. It shifts it from the chase of women to the chase of pixels, oogling over someone in a way that loses the identity that you were meant to have in the real world. So we're diving in deep today. I'm glad you're here. And I just want to remind you, this podcast is part of my outreach program through the nonprofit that I founded. Pornbrainprevention.org is where you can find it. And please join me in the crusade. Donate so young men don't ever find themselves in this position, because unfortunately it is significantly on the rise and we have to work together to be able to turn the tide. So go over to pornbrainprevention.org, join the crusade. I match every donation. Okay, so it used to be called simping. Now it's called glazing. Staring at a girl you're never, ever, ever going to meet in a video she's probably not going to remember making. And you feel like you have this connection. You feel like you have intimacy. I actually was just on Jubilee Media's The Middle Ground. The episode just aired. And in that episode, I talk with porn performers about this very thing. They were talking about how they feel like they're doing a service to people. I contended that it's not a service. It's actually taking away from young men's ability to go into their real life and build real intimate connections. Honestly, I don't know if that cut made it into the video because I have not watched it, nor do I plan on it. Declan, that same handsome son, he encouraged me to watch it, kind of like a growth strategy, kind of like football players watch their game footage to get better. So I am taking that to heart, and I probably will watch it eventually. But this isn't about sexual arousal. When you go back to your phone or your computer and you're doom scrolling into thirst traps, you're glazing. You're not doing the things that would make you the man that you want to be. Instead, you're numbing out. You're desensitizing your brain. You're probably causing your own sexual arousal dysfunction without even knowing it. And I'm not saying that from a place of shame. I'm saying that from a place of agency. If you have problems, you are the one who have to solve them. I know how difficult that can be, because guess what? I have problems and I'm solving them all the time through agency, through control, through decision making. But when we talk about glazing, this is a compulsion. The dopamine in the pixels pulls you back in for more. It keeps you stuck there. It creates shame because now you know you're doing that and you're not owning up to being the man that you want to be for the people in your life. And if you don't have people in your life, this is part of the problem. That's the point about the porn performers on Jubilee. But glazing isn't about arousal. This is about neurological shutdown. When you keep going back to the screen, what you're inadvertently doing is decreasing function in your prefrontal cortex and the frontal lobe in your brain. This is where the reward pathways feed forward from the reward center in the midbrain to control these areas for working memory, for executive function, planning, organization, impulse control, judgment. All of these are in the prefrontal cortex. Every time you doom scroll, every thirst trap you go into, every time you lose time looking at women, you are decreasing function and structure in your frontal lobe. Neuroscience shows it. So you, my friend, are the one who can back yourself out. But compulsion means you're going to it because you need the dopamine. So if you try to stop and it's difficult, don't be surprised. What has to happen is we have to rewire your brain from the inside out so you don't need that dopamine anymore. That's what I spend all day, every day doing, thankfully, very successfully. So It's not about sexual arousal. It's about numbing. It's about escape. It's about mood regulation, offsetting stress primarily, boredom sometimes, through overstimulation. But that overstimulation is what's desensitizing your brain, and it has to stop. No more simping, no more glazing, only greatness. Okay, so how are you going to do that? Well, you're going to stop the dopamine depletion from the scroll. You're going to resensitize those dopamine receptors in your brain. They resensitize. Neuroplasticity, baby. It's the way back. You're not going to overstimulate because you're probably in a position of novelty burnout. When you keep scrolling, more dopamine, more frequent, more consistent, maybe more intense because you need it. You need to recognize that's burnout and you need more novelty. And the reason you're burnt out is from hitting the easy button of explicit matter. It leads you to feel emotionally flat. It leads you to feel numb. It leads to sexual arousal dysfunction, namely ED. So, what happens is hyperstimulation of the reward center. That leads to frontal lobe suppression. Your frontal lobe is not working as it should anymore. That leads to loss of impulse control, planning, and drive, emotional numbness. So, this is not just a harmless habit. If you're on social media and you've convinced yourself it's not porn proper, it's barely explicit matter, it's not just a habit, it's nervous system dysfunction. It is a loop that's reinforcing the damage and the dysfunction in your brain. So, glazing is not funny. It is your brain waving the white flag, waving it over and over and over, waiting for you to come rescue it, which you can. Your brain is saying, I've had too much. It's too fast. And this has been happening for far too long. So, what are you going to do? You're going to get back into those real relationships. And you know what they do? They require vulnerability, they require effort, right? For sure. And they require delayed gratification, not that instant gratification of the easy button. You have to retrain your brain to work for it because with glazing, there's no risk, there's no cost, and there's definitely not any intimacy. Glazing is stealing your masculine vitality. It's taking away your drive to build, to create. It's taking away your desire to connect. So when we talk about the revenge of the Simps, no, it's not a Star Wars episode, but what it is, it's a retreat. It's not a revenge at all. When men retreat from life, we miss out on the irreplaceable. And scientific studies show men are checking out more than ever. More men live at home into adulthood. Less men are getting married and having long-term relationships. Less men are graduating from college than ever before. We have a crisis here. And the only way to solve it is one by one, my friend. That's why I'm here. I'm here to affect the change and maybe wake you up so that I can help people heal their brains one person at a time. I'm here to create global change, one brain at a time, and it starts with you. So let me give you your brain hack strategy for today. If you find yourself doom scrolling or you find yourself being pulled into these thirst traps, say stop. I love this strategy. Science shows that if you just say stop, it will help pattern interrupt. You say it out loud, even though people might think you're wacky. Stop. Then you get up. You change your mental and your physical space. You go do something else. You take some deep breaths, box breathing. You splash cold water on your face, dopamine hit from the real world. Then you do something that requires control and agency in your own life. You call someone. You write in your journal. You lift something heavy. You take control. You become the man that you want to be. You weren't designed to glaze, my friend. You were designed to focus on what you care about with passion and with purpose. You were designed to create. You were designed to lead. not follow. So let's go. The algorithm, you know what? It might have hijacked your attention, but it does not get to keep your identity on a permanent basis. We know this. When you're caught up in the doom scroll, it's actually changing your identity. To me, that's terrifying. You have to get into your journal and write, what do you want from your life? What are you going to create? Set the GPS, then start taking small action steps, delayed gratification. Step by step, these little action steps create a dopamine hit. Check them off. Check them off the list. A little dopamine hit towards that bigger goal. And guess what? You become the creator of your life again, and it feels awesome. Now, if you want help on that journey, please reach out at drtrishleigh.com. If you're stuck in the doom scroll, the thirst traps, the simping, the glazing, whatever we want to call it, it does not have to be this way. And especially if you can't stop, that's a compulsion. And I'm here to help. What I do is I can take a QEEG brain map of your brain and show you exactly all the areas and the levels of dysfunction in your brain where it has been damaged. Then, of course, more importantly, I can set the roadmap for you to reach that goal. I can help be the GPS for you. I set very specific protocols, higher protocols than basically anybody here on planet Earth knows about for this. And I watch them. It's precise, it's precision that gets you where you need to go quickly. If you're struggling with sexual arousal dysfunction, it does not need to be this way, my friend. I can help. I help thousands of people. I can help you through this quickly using advanced neuroscience technology. So reach out, drtrishleigh.com. And right now, right this very moment, is the time for you to elevate your mind over explicit matter. So let's go. All right, until next time, control your brain or it'll control you. I'll see you then.